This is Nasha Kasha, a Ukrainian almanac, 28 minutes of stories for everyone about Ukrainian life. Nasha Kasha is heard on 19 campus and community radio stations from Newfoundland to British Columbia. I'm your reporter, Stefan Andrusiak. This is episode 241. First heard in October of 2016, it is about a remarkable man, ordained May 4th, 1952. Serving mostly in northern Ontario and northern Quebec, here is the story of Monseigneur Lev Chayka, a story I will update at the end of the program. Today we travel to Kirkland Lake in northeastern Ontario. Перед мікрофоном Стефан Андрусяк продовж півгодини пропонуємо вашій увазі. Під час сьогоднішньої програми почуєте репортаж про українське поселення Kirkland Lake і про надзвичайну особу, а саме отець Monseigneur доктор Lev Chayka. But first, have a listen to this song. Бог чує, люди плачуть. Каже Господь, усі, хто знаходиться у темноті гріхів, моя рука спасе. Я сотворив зорі і світло. Хто між вами занесе це світло моїм людям? Відповідає одна особа. Я, Господи, ось, тут, Господи, дивіться, гляньте, я чую ваш заклик уночі. Я піду під вашим проводом, Господи, піднесу і буду носити ваших людей у своїм серці.
I, the Lord of sea and sky, I have heard my people cry, all who dwell in dark and death, my hand provide. I who make the stars of night, I will make their darkness bright. Who will bear my light to them? Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? I have heard your whisper in the night. I will go, Lord, if you need me. I will hold your people in my heart.
That song was written by Dan Schutte, and it's performed by Chicago singer and actor Monica Zaflik. The name Leo in Ukrainian is Lev, which means lion. Today, we will meet a lion, Father Lev Chayka, who has been serving 3 parish churches since the early 1950s. They stretch along 190 kilometers of highway from Kirkland Lake, Ontario through Val d'Or, Quebec. As mines popped up along this stretch, so came the workers, many of whom were Ukrainian. Father Chayka helped build congregations. He started Ukrainian schools and a summer camp, even a radio program.
Yes, this is a lookout spot that was situated in Presac.
We are in mining country, and to get a good view, we have stopped near Presac, Quebec.
Jim Slobodian.
I'm at the foot of an observation tower, and Jim Slobodian, who was born in this region, has no appetite for climbing the tower. Besides, he knows what's out there. Boreal forest and dozens of mines, active and inactive. walk through here.
Yeah, that's right. In French, they call it la veine de Cadillac. It's the Cadillac vein. And it goes to Cadillac and goes up as far as Val d'Or.
This is part of a once vast mineral formation, and like the highway, it runs from Val d'Or Quebec to Kirkland Lake, Ontario. At the Ontario end, we have Kirkland Lake. Today its population is around 8,600. Where there were once 7 gold mines near Kirkland Lake, today there is 1. And in a background interview, Mayor Tony Antoniazzi told me he feels lucky to have that. It's 50 kilometers outside of town, but most of the workers do live in Kirkland Lake. On 2nd Street, across from Father Chayka's church in Kirkland Lake, stands a diner. It's doing a brisk Sunday business. There's excitement about the town's upcoming centennial in 2017. Patrons are regulars, but they rarely see any movement on the steps of the Ukrainian church across the street.
My name is Glenda Sale, and I work at Fern's Restaurant. It's very, very friendly. The staff is friendly, and we get to you as fast as we can. We get you in and out as fast as we can.
So do you know much about the church across?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah.
So that's all I know is, like I said, it's the Ukrainian church. That's all I know.
And you know the lady who opens it up every so often?
Yeah, she's very nice.
Is she a customer here?
Oh, yeah.
Father Chayka comes to Kirkland Lake once every 3 or 4, maybe 5 weeks. A handful of parishioners who've grown up with him still come to church for prayer and to greet their remarkable 93-year-old priest. I look out the cafe's window towards the church and I see a woman unloading food containers from her car.
Hi, my name is Shirley Torek.
And how long have you been coming to this church?
Ever since I was little, long time.
Yeah. And you help Father Chayka?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you're about to do what?
Set up the luncheon that we have after our Divine Liturgy. We join together.
Okay.
And
Shirley descends into the hall and readies the coffee maker. She unpacks the pumpkin soup, enough food for everyone. She has prepared cold cuts, deviled eggs, sweets. What if Father Chayka doesn't arrive after all, I ask? Well, she says they'll simply gather in the hall, have a bite to eat, and chat. On this Sunday in late September, their pastor will arrive to say Mass and to enjoy all of the food Shirley has so thoughtfully prepared. You're listening to an arrangement by Roman Hurko. It's the Ukrainian liturgical chant, "Blessed is the Man." Judging by Shirley's dedication and kindness, here at St. Vladimir's Catholic Church, the women, too, are blessed. A face pokes around a corner inside the hall to announce that, indeed, Father Chayka has arrived. Upstairs inside St. Vladimir's, Father Chayka is already in his vestments, standing in the middle of the church, speaking with worshippers as they arrive. Now let's just pause and remember that this is a 93-year-old retired priest. He's holding together what many others would have discarded long ago. He is serving by force of his own will, and he says the will of God. I ask him about the future. He half ignores the meaning of the question and says, well, he'd like to visit Ukraine someday soon.
Ви ту працю робите, ви як довго вже священником?
Я тут є від 52-го року, і я щойно приїхав, як бачите саме,
Proudly, Father Chayka chimes off his parishes for me.
Матірна парафія тут, в Киркелейку. Друга то є в Валдорі, тоді Руеноранда і Вірджинія Таун. Так, я приїжджаю тут, правда, час до часу, бо нагодно обслужити 4 церкви. І я щойно приїхав, і тому я дуже радий, що ви заїхали до матірної парафії, яка обслуговує так само до певної міри і Timmins.
I tell him how special this visit is for me. My late uncle, Walter Lescue, spent his boyhood in Kirkland Lake, went to this church.
Так що це є велика хвилина для мене, що я є у вашій
Не
церкві.
знаменито,
Ви
знаменито.
відправляєте в англійській мові чи
Ми приймаємо так в половині, половина по-українськи, половина по-англійськи.
Father Chayka is fluent in French, but here in Ontario, half the Mass is said in English, half in Ukrainian.
Ну, бажаю вам здоров'я. Отже, де ви знаходите силу, щоб і видавати книжки, і щоб відправляти?
He writes books, he travels. Where do you find the strength, I ask him?
І навіть коли мене бачите сьогодні в
This
90
is all with God's help. People don't know that I'm as old as I really am.
мені завжди кажуть, що я десь маю 70-75 років. Це і при Божій помочі, правда. І я знаменито кажу, радію, що я тут працюю на півночі.
I'm told I don't look a day over 75. And it gives me great joy to be working here in the north.
Звільнив з Монреальської парафії, де я мав коло 1200 парафіян, знаєте.
I came here from Montreal, where I once had 1,200 parishioners.
40 років, бо я був в Монреалі надовго, кілька років лише.
I asked him if he's at all worried about the future of his little parishes. And that's when he changes the subject.
Я кажу, мені вже довго не зіставилося.
Realistically, I don't have that many years left.
Ще поїду до України, на Україну, і я маю деякі плани, зокрема, на різних землях.
What I'd really like to do is visit Ukraine.
Казка починається спочатку. Новий рік ступає на поріг. Мрії, сподівання, як закладки, згадуються тільки в Новий рік. Срібне павутиння заметілі засипає все минуле в тінь. Значить, буде все, як ти хотіла, буде все, як ти того хотів. Новорічні сни, ще далеко до весни, хай любов тобі насниться ніжна, як дитячий сміх. Новорічні сни, непомітно для усіх, щастя хай тебе розбудить тихо, як ранковий сніг. Новорічні сни, непомітно для усіх, щастя хай тебе розбудить тихо, як ранковий сніг. Новорічні сни, ще далеко до весни, хай любов тобі насниться ніжна, як дитячий сміх. Новорічні сни, непомітно для усіх, щастя хай тебе розбудить тихо, як ранковий сніг.
Новорічні сни, New Year's Dreams is the name of the song. May good fortune wake you gently, like a morning snowfall. Maria Burmaka is the singer. Just a reminder that the interviews in this program were recorded in 2016, long before COVID travel restrictions were in place, so Monseigneur Chayka's dream of visiting Ukraine was not at all far-fetched at the time, and we do hope he'll still be able to realize it someday soon.
Темною нічку над Вифлеємом ясна зоря зійшла, світом землю покрила. Пречиста діва, свята невіста, в вертепі бідному синочка зродила. Спи, Ісусе, спи, маленький, спи ти, зіронька моя, твою долю, мій миленький, тобі співаю я.
Nasha Kasha comes to you from Radio Western 94.9 FM on the campus of Western University in London, Ontario, Canada. We're heard on CHMR 93.5 FM in St. John's, Newfoundland, on CKDU 88.1 FM in Halifax, on Local 107.3 FM in St. John, New Brunswick, on CJAS Radio 93.5 FM in Saint Augustine, Quebec, on CJLO 1690 AM in Montreal, on CFRC 101.9 FM in Kingston, on CFMU 93.3 FM in Hamilton, on CKMS 102.7 FM in Kitchener-Waterloo, on CJAM 99.1 FM in Windsor and Detroit, on CKLU 96.7 FM in Sudbury, on CILU 102.7 FM in Thunder Bay, on 101.5 UMFM in Winnipeg, on CJTR 91.3 FM in Regina, on CFMQ 98.1 FM in Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan, on CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops, on CIVL 101.7 FM in Abbotsford, on CJSF 90.1 FM in Vancouver, and on CHLY 101.7 FM in Nanaimo, British Columbia.
І Божу правду, і світло віри людям своїм понесеш. Правда буде жити, гріха окови розіб'є, но на Голгофі умре дитятко моє. Спи, Ісусе, спи, маленький, спи ти, зіронька моя, твою долю, мій миленький, тобі співаю я. Спи, Ісусе, спи, маленький, спи ти, мій рожевий цвіт, із надією на тебе дивиться увесь
As I said earlier, the liturgy is spoken in both English and Ukrainian here. Where attendees have forgotten responses, Father Chayka himself chimes in.
Хто йде в ім'я Господне,
the resurrection of the dead and the life of the world to come. Amen.
Sitting toward the back of the church is a man who met Father Chayka for the first time only this morning. Father convinced him to drive him here all the way from Val d'Or, Quebec. Father Chayka can be both persistent and charming. Just one day earlier, hearing that the priest might be overnighting in Rouen-Noranda, I visited that city's Ukrainian church. That's when I met the person who is now renting what once had been Father Chayka's residence.
We've known him, my family and I, and my older sisters, and since the early 80s. My name is Lise Marsan-Robert. I'm a widow here from French-Canadian from Rouen-Noranda.
Now you live next door to the church, and above your door it says Presbyter Ukrainian Ukrainska Missia.
Yes, it was. He had that.
Was it ever a presbytery?
Yes, it was. It used to
so
be.
It was. It was.
But it's been rented for very many years.
May I ask how long you've lived?
I've lived here since September 1st, 1999.
Oh my goodness! Oh, God love you. Do you go to the church at all?
Yes, whenever he comes, he knock at my door telling me at the last minute when he arrives from the bus around 8:30, and he says there'll be mass at 10 o'clock, such Sunday or Saturday morning, depends when. He does it on Saturday here if he has to go for Sunday in Kirkland Lake.
I understand that he's quite a figure. He's
not
90.
young anymore. He's 93 and a half years old. So and he's his health, of course, is not as good. So he used to come every weekend, either. One weekend would be the mass would be on Saturday, and the weekend after would be on the Sunday.
How many people are attending these days?
Lately, I'm the only one who assists. They're all very old. The Ukrainian that used to come regularly, and they're in homes or they passed away. And the younger ones, married to French Canadian or Irish, and they don't. They want the church and they want Father Chayka when there's a wedding or a baptism or for a funeral, but otherwise they don't come regularly because he can only tell me at the last minute if he's in good shape to come, So
and how does he come? How does he come?
Before he takes the bus from Val d'Or and the Mary bus. The
bus and then a taxi to come here?
No, he walks from the bus station. Yes, he still walks straight back.
Could you describe the church? Is it lovely inside?
The one in Val d'Or I haven't seen. Here it's very simple. Because when it was built here in the early 50s or mid 50s, when it was built here, the community was greater. It was bigger. There was regular mass every Sunday, but I didn't know him then. I was a young girl. I came with a Croatian girl in the late 60s, the first time, for around Easter time, Good Friday, and there wasn't very many people. I guess he did the special hour just because he was doing like different hours for French Canadian to come and some other with Ukrainian, and especially in the 80s, it was the church was full in the 70s when I met him in the early 80s.
You said you were a widow. Was your husband at all Ukrainian?
No, my husband didn't speak much English either. He was French Canadian. No, I would come with my older sister and my children.
And why? Can I ask why do you keep coming?
Because he's like a father to me. He's a best friend and one I could talk to. I'm a religious person. I go to mass every day, so he knows I will assist if he comes and say mass.
Back in Kirkland Lake, the Mass has ended. A couple comes up to speak with Father. They're getting married here next summer, and they ask Father what they should do if he isn't able to give them their vows. Father Chayka replies without hesitation that the bishop would assign another priest to preside. I phoned the eparchy office in Toronto and I spoke with Father Bogdan Bilinsky. He's the Episcopal vicar. Father Bogdan says that a year or two ago he had visited all of Father Chayka's churches. One of them, in Victoriaville, closed a few years back. Rouyn-Noranda and Val d'Or have lost almost all of their once overflowing populations. However, should the need arise, a new priest would be assigned to Kirkland Lake, and he already has been identified. His Ukrainian is strong, the English is coming along. He speaks no French. So it looks like the gang at Vern's restaurant on 2nd Street will see at least one more wedding across the road at the Ukrainian church. And now for that update I promised. I reached Monseigneur Chayka at his home in Val d'Or, Quebec. It was Ukrainian Christmas Eve, January 6th, 2021, when I called. He told me that he had just turned 98 the day before. There was a setback in 2019 when he suffered a stroke, but he has recovered and walks with the aid of a cane. Prior to the pandemic, with the help of local volunteers and the occasional taxi driver, he still visited his 3 parishes, Val d'Or, Rouyn-Noranda, and Kirkland Lake. I exclaim that he is remarkable. He reminds me of his lifetime in the Ukrainian scouting movement, Plast, and then chimes off their slogan, Silno, krasno, oberezhno, bystro. Seek strength, beauty, be mindful, and be swift. Very early in the show, you heard the Basilian Students' Choir singing Alleluia, and Alexander Klemenko sang the carol In the Darkness of Night, в темную нічку. And we close the program with my friend Evan Wish. This is Crying Eyes of Love. He wrote it, and he plays it. Partial funding for Nasha Kasha is provided by the Shevchenko Foundation and by the Ukrainian Credit Union. Nasha Kasha is also a podcast. There's an easy way to access it for free. Go to nashakasha.libsyn.com. Nasha Kasha is one word. Libsyn is spelled Libsyn.com. nashakasha.libsyn.com. New Pathway Ukrainian News delivers news and insight every week in English and Ukrainian. Subscribe today at newpathway.ca. Back in a week, God willing. До милої зустрічі за тиждень часу, дорогі слухачі.